Hello friends, in this tutorial we are going to see how we can display data in the views using Angularjs version 2. So here is the documentation, the angular.io guide. You can find all the features of the Angular version 2. So let us start from the template and data bindings. This is the very important section of the Angularjs version 2. First of all, click the displaying data. That is how we can display the data in the view template. First point is showing component properties with interpolation. That means from the component properties is to bind the property name through interpolations. Interpolation is nothing but two curly braces and some variable name. That means with the interpolations you can put the property name in the view template enclosed in the double curly braces. So how Angular 2 it's working? Let us do a simple example. I have already shown you. So here is my oops, that is the previous project I have opened in my text pad. Let us open the update component.ts. So while installing the AngularJS project using Angular CLI, this is the default component, that is app component.ts, where you can find the selector, that is app root, and the template URL is app component.html, and the style URL is app component.css. So if I write something variables, that is title welcome to Angular 2 and my hero is Salman Khan, I can pass it in the views using interpolations, that is two curly braces. So this data will be fetched from the app component and it will display in the views. Similarly like this. Let us do another way. Another way also, instead of doing inside the app component.html, I want to display it here only. So how I can do this? Suppose h1 close. If I write title, then close two curly braces, then h4 close h4, then this is my hero. Save this, then come to the views. Here it will display the property assignment expected. That means failed to compile. That means here you have to give something like, for example, if I give single quote, this now it's working here. So you can assign inside everything inside the template colon, then you have to assign everything inside a single quote. But the case will arise, suppose if I break this and if I break this. It's loading. Now you can see the error arises, undefined unterminated string literal. That means it is not finding this inside this single quote, it will not work. So how to get rid of that? I want to display the same data inside template as a selector, you can say template as a method. So template, so how we can do that? That is a simple way, that is called, the template is a multi-line string within ECMS script 2015 backticks. The backticks, which is not the same character as the single quote, allows you to compose a string over several lines, which makes the HTML more readable. That means if I make that is a single separate line, then this single line will not work. You have to give the backticks. Where you can find the backticks? From the tab to top keyword. Now if I save this, if I go to the views, it will run. Now 92% chunk asset optimization, then it will optimize, then it will display the result. Here it goes. So in this way we can do the view display views in the front end. Now let us check another way. The best way to do is separate it in a separate HTML file, because if I write a lot of code, HTML code here, it will come lengthy. I mean, not a correct way. It will not a correct way to write here. Small text, we can some title and some header tag we can display right using template, but we should always go through template URL. So let us back to our code. That was here it was. So I make it template URL, I make a HTML file, then everything I write inside it. Then there will be no errors and all. It will work as the same thing. Same thing it will work. So now let us check template inline and template file. That is same thing I already told. Now let us come to the constructor and or variable initialization. That means suppose I initialization means suppose this, if I initialize the title colon string, that means if I initialize title equal to colon string means it will not accept any number and all. Then my hero colon also string. So in TypeScript we should always define our type of the string. Then I create a constructor, then this dot. As a constructor we should write this dot title, this dot my hero equal to wisdom, tools of the hero. Then if I save this, it will work as the same thing. So this is constructor variable initializations. How I can initialize a variable inside constructor? I have to declare it inside the type outside of the constructor. Then I can this dot title equal to this. Showing an array property with ng. For this we will check in the next video. Thanks for watching.